Good morning. Administrators, faculty, family, friends, schoolmates, and an especially warm welcome to the distinguished members of the class of 2015. My name is John Leonard, and I am pleased to welcome you all to North Atlanta High School class of 2015 Visions of the Future program. Today, we take time to consider how far we have come and to envision what we can be in the future. The focus is not on all of our individual accomplishments, but rather it is an opportunity for us to come together, celebrating our diversity. Imagine, if you can, what possibilities lay before us as we prepare to enter the ever-expanding global neighborhood. Let us now hear voices of our own international community, welcoming us to envision our future.
সুপ্রভাত আমাদের নর্থ ন্যাশনাল গ্র্যাজুয়েশনে আসার জন্য আপনাদের সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি
Buenos días, familia y amigos. Bienvenido al programa de misiones de North Atlanta High School.
Guten Morgen, Familie und Freunde. Herzlich willkommen zum Norderlands Gymnasium für Cermony.
朋友和家人早上好，欢迎北洋团的高中的 Visions of the Future。
et bienvenue au Vision Future du lycée de North Atlanta.
But never mind the night you had to cry, 'cause you could never let it go inside. You work real hard and you know exactly what you want and need so believe. And you can never give up, you can reach your goals. Just talk to your soul and say, I cannot leave, I cannot leave, I know my dreams are real. I cannot leave, I cannot leave, I know that's why I live my life to believe. Oh, yeah.
Family, friends, schoolmates, and especially warm welcome to the members of the distinguished class of 2015. My name is Alexis Wilson, and I have the honor and privilege today of introducing our very special guest speaker. Ronnie Goslin is an Atlanta native and a proud proud product of Atlanta Public Schools. She attended Morris Vernon Elementary, Sutton Middle School, and then graduated from North Atlanta High School in 2003 as the class valedictorian. After high school, Ronnie went to Wellesley College in Boston. In 2007, she graduated summa cum laude. Ms. Goslin then attended law school at Harvard University and before graduation earned the Dean's Award for the Community Leadership, given annually to those graduating students who have contributed to improving the law school community through work in student organizations, community service groups, and individual efforts. Ronnie Goslin is currently an associate for Alston and Burr's Environment, Land Use, and Natural Resources Group. Her practice focuses on environmental litigation and regulatory compliance with state and federal statutes. Please join me today in welcoming back home Ms. Ronnie Goslin.
Thank you, Alexis. Seniors of the class of 2015, proud parents, relatives, and friends, Principal Douglas, and all the teachers that have worked so hard for us again this year. When I graduated North Atlanta 12 years ago, I wanted to escape. I wanted to get away and become someone totally different. With my parents' support, I picked a school that was 18 hours away by car, in part because it was far away and I didn't know anybody who went there. But, like so many best laid plans, escape isn't exactly what happened. The night before orientation, my parents and I are going around the campus in this minivan that is so packed with stuff we're barely clearing the speed bumps. We get up to my dorm to take a look at it, where I'll be living with a stranger for the next year. Out pops this girl from out of nowhere, literally the very first person we see that night and the first student who I'm about to speak to at Wellesley College. She says, "Hey, I see your license plate. I'm from Georgia too. Where'd you go to high school?" I said, "I went to North Atlanta." And I expected her to say, "Oh, I went to Pace. Oh, I went to Woodward." But you know what? She said, "I went to North Atlanta too." She had graduated 5 years before and had taken a year off to travel, which is why I'd never seen her before. But just like that, my plans of escape were over. Yes, the next day I would meet my new roommate, a girl from Sudbury, Massachusetts, who had literally never seen a black-eyed bee. But that night, the universe let me know that even though my time at North Atlanta had ended, my history and experiences here continued. Seniors, it is a tremendous honor to be here with you now, just a few days before you walk across the stage in celebration of years of hard work and effort. After you have finished your exams and accepted your diploma, you will be more in control of your life than you have ever been before. You will be adults, you will be graduates, and you will be fully participating members of this country and the world. Before you go, I offer some thoughts about what your time here in North Atlanta might mean and a tip or two for the future. To start, I will tell you that you don't need to escape who you are in order to become who you want to be. I'm not saying that you need to stay stuck in some kind of high school time warp. You are free to change, you are free to grow, and you are free to reinvent yourself. In fact, there will be many times in your lives when you want and need to do these things. As the great Winston Churchill once said, to improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. So what I am saying is that you can and should use the foundation and skills developed here at North Atlanta as a platform for your future passions and career. I'll give you just a few personal examples that demonstrate what I mean. When I went to college, I became a Latin American Studies major. Not something that sounds like it'll give you a paying job. But as part of my studies, I took courses that dealt with the building and destructions of governments, revolutions, civil rights, history, art. I studied abroad for a year in Chile, lived with a host family that I still love and visit. On a shoestring budget, my new classmates and I visited the world's driest desert, kayaked on the Straits of Magellan, hiked active volcanoes, and went to school with people who had a completely different set of experiences than our own. It was during this time that I cemented my interest in the rule of law and knew that I wanted to go to law school. I applied, and in my application, I based my personal essay on an experience I had while in South America. And when I graduated 3 kind of long years later, I had the honor of working for the Honorable Anna E. Thompson, the first woman and first African-American judge on the District Court of New Jersey, who was one of the greatest models of how small acts of compassion in the courtroom can change the lives of the people in the community around you. The road hasn't been straight, it hasn't always been easy, and the journey is still ongoing, but all of these experiences stem in part from the foundation that was provided to me right here at North Atlanta. I probably never would have been a Latin American Studies major and had all of the wonderful opportunities and adventures that followed if North Atlanta hadn't offered a Latin American history course, if it hadn't provided an excellent Spanish language program, or if the school and the teachers had not been so committed to teaching us about people different from ourselves and ideas different from our own. I can even say that my first experience with my current employer, Alston & Bird, was at North Atlanta, when an Alston & Bird attorney served as a volunteer coach for the mock trial team at the behest of our beloved and dedicated world history teacher. Years later, I remember the efforts of this attorney. I applied to the firm, and I now work with a great team of people who challenge and inspire me every day. I do not know what particular classes you each have taken, what clubs you have joined, what friends you have made while here who will help you on your way. You are all here today united in success, but you haven't arrived here in the same way, and you certainly are not going to walk out of those doors next week to the same place. You come from different families, different towns, you have different passions, different skills. You have each overcome different struggles to get here, some that have been placed upon you, and some that come from deep inside you. Each of you have walked a different path, and each of you will use that path to walk out of here toward a future that is yours alone. Indeed, if my friends from North Atlanta were to give you their lists about how their lives were changed by their time here, they would look totally different. My friend Steven is now Mr. Lawrence, your orchestra and guitar teacher. Woo! That's right. My friend Moralake went to art school and now works for the New York ACLU. My friend Elizabeth works in import-export. She actually sourced her own line of purses from China and lived there for years learning Mandarin, a language she didn't take while here in high school to learn business. My friend Allie has been active in politics and public policy in DC and Atlanta, and my friend Lakia is a digital journalist in Mobile. Their stories are all different and amazing and compelling, just like yours will be. They are the perfect example of how you don't graduate from North Atlanta to stay how you are now. You graduate from North Atlanta to become who you want to be. Because I don't know your stories or what the future might hold, I only ask one thing of you on your way out the door. And what I ask has to do with fear. Fear can be a great and wonderful thing. It lets you know when you shouldn't walk down that scary street. It lets you know when something is valuable to you, when something is at stake. Fear means that whatever it is you're about to do, it probably has nothing to do with just sitting on your couch. If you don't feel a little bit of fear every now and again, you should probably reconsider what you're doing. But fear has another side, a side that's not so great. It can paralyze you when you need to move, and it can mute you when you need to speak up. It can keep you from listening to others with different points of view, and it can prevent you from putting in the effort that you need to put in to succeed. It can be hard to recognize and can sound something like this. Well, I didn't study that subject in high school. I probably wouldn't be any good at it. Or, what that girl says is dumb. Or, I'll just do what they're doing. Or, this is too hard. I don't think it's for me. If you find yourself thinking these thoughts, you should ask yourself, what am I afraid of? And is it worth it? Because that's what all of these thoughts are. They're fear disguised as something else. And I can give you a million examples of when I let such fears overcome me or slow me down. Jobs I've delayed or didn't apply for. Classes I haven't taken. And opportunities I haven't pursued simply because I was afraid of something. Making a mistake, of looking stupid, or of just plain getting it wrong. As you move into this next phase of your lives, when you will have more freedom and control over what you do than ever before, I ask you, to the extent that you possibly can, to trust in yourself and remember that the most rewarding opportunities and successes that you will have will come as the result of putting yourself out there, learning from your mistakes, and meeting and passing through any fear you may feel head on. Sometimes you will mess up, you will look stupid, and you will even occasionally let yourself down. But far more often, you will succeed. You will surpass even your own expectations, and you will learn that nothing is written in stone. Seniors, the world ahead of you is thrilling. It is magnificent, it is amazing, and it is sometimes terrifying. We have self-driving cars, computers in our pockets, nanotechnologies that fight cancer, and crowdsourcing platforms that will help anyone with a product and a dream get their start. But we also continue to struggle with the ever-mounting environmental effects of our actions and the persistent racial, sexual, and socioeconomic inequalities within our country, across our borders, and throughout our world. Trust me, class of 2015, when I tell you that this future of struggle and opportunity needs you. It needs each and every one of you. It needs your talent, it needs your strength, it needs your bravery, and it needs your love. And with the foundation that you have received here at North Atlanta, and with a willingness to meet any fears you encounter head on, I know that your ability to adapt, to grow, and when necessary, to reinvent yourselves will be more than up to the challenge and reward. Because this, my fellow soon-to-be North Atlanta alumni, the great and inimitable class of 2015, this, my newest colleagues, my next leaders, and my future friends, this is just the beginning. Thank you.
On behalf of the graduating class of 2015, we would like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come back to North Atlanta and share with us today. We appreciate all your words of wisdom and encouragement. Thank you.
that I already knew. As I sat there questioning my mother's reasoning, I heard a familiar voice echo in my ear. When you become comfortable and complacent in your environment, it is time for a shift. These were the words of my middle school principal, and until this day, I understand why my mother moved me. If I hadn't been, or if it hadn't been for my mother moving me, I wouldn't be giving this speech today. Let's just say I'm not as strong that I spent 18,144,000 seconds of my time at North Atlanta High School. As we all have journeyed through high school, we all can attest to the fact that high school has truly been a roller coaster. However, I'm sure I speak for all of us when I say the end result was worth the ride. As cliche as it may seem, we did make it. We've made it through 3 principals, 2 buildings, 15 stories, numerous malfunctioning elevators, exhausting nights of homework, some close and not so close athletic games, and more. We have matriculated from feeble freshmen to sensational seniors. We have grown. Unfortunately, we have lost loved ones. We've won some science fairs, entered and exited relationships, visited colleges, aced tests, and won some championships. And do you know what that makes us? Mighty warriors. A goal is not meant to be reached. It often serves as something to aim for. I find this Bruce Lee quote to be so profound because I interpret it as if he's saying, goals serve the purpose of pushing individuals to what we don't normally do to achieve what we don't normally see. As we enter this world, we are destined for greatness and sure to push boundaries because we possess all that it requires, the tenacity and drive to keep going and keep pushing towards that goal. Thank you and congratulations, class of 2015.
Good morning, class of 2015, North Atlanta High School graduates. Wow, that felt really good to say. We've made it. For some of us, this day has been anticipated, and I know for others, this day may be a dreaded day. No more elevator rides to get to class, no more charging passes from Ms. Jackson's office, and no more afternoon announcements that hold you past 3:45, and the struggle just to make it out of this 11-story fortress. Aside from that, as a new student this year, I'm proud to be able to say that I am a graduate of North Atlanta's class of 2015. Moving to a new school senior year isn't the most ideal situation, but for me, it turned out better than I expected. I must say, there is an obvious difference between a teacher who teaches with passion and a teacher who does just enough to get by. Every teacher I've had here this year has shown more than just passion. They've shown how much they care about their students, and I'm truly grateful for that. It has also helped me realize that North Atlanta High School is a school of opportunity filled with diversity and creative minds. It is apparent that the students of North Atlanta High School have been affected by a city of limitless innovation. I sincerely believe that my class and generation will carry this nation on to something bigger and better. I know some adults are probably sitting here right now, astonished that we even made it this far being glued to our cell phones 24/7. Yes, we are a technology-consumed generation. We can even be lazy at times, spoiled, entitled, and maybe even ungrateful. We've heard it all before. But as a generation that they can't be saved, it's important that you know we're not blind to opportunities in front of us. We create, we dream, and we think about our future through our hopeful lives. Oftentimes we are misunderstood. But when I look at this crowd of graduates, I see what most choose not to see. I see our ability to change the world that we live in. We are a generation that isn't scared to think for ourselves. We chase things that are different, unique, and esoteric. We celebrate diversity. I have been around so hobbies that they're most passionate about. Our generation is one that will engender positive change. Where others will step in fear, we will go bravely forward and shift paradigms. We embrace change, new cultures, music, diversity of thought, and we are open to a more compassionate world that has an endless amount of opportunities waiting to be found by us. Class of 2015, I didn't volunteer to speak today to reiterate the same messages you've heard every day. To have a set career path, to aim for the highest degree possible, and all of the other cliche things. Our hope is to say that I believe in the person you are now, and your ability to achieve whatever you set out to achieve upon leaving here. Let's be the generation that charges forward confidently in our dreams. If you fail somewhere down the road, so what? There is beauty in failure, because you can learn from it and go on to greater success. Don't give up on your goal or dream that you believe to be possible. Be comfortable with who you are, and most importantly, keep the imaginations of your fire lit. Class, it is time to find your calling in this world, to live your life in a way that you envisioned it, live your own reality, and inspire others by living an exemplary life. You are the vision of the future. Thank you.
North Atlanta High School, class of 2015. We've come a long way. I mean, really, I don't say this to be patronizing. I say this with the utmost sincerity. 4 years, that's how long we spent here. Well, technically 2 in here, but you get the point. 4 years of working diligently so that we can leave this plateau for new horizons. I come here to speak to you today to talk about how we are going to overcome these obstacles that have been laid out before us. We are going to overcome and overstep every boundary that has been set upon us and has been set to make sure that we would not succeed. I'm here today to tell you that you have made it. You have arrived. You are the class of 2015. We have worked diligently. We have worked so hard to make sure that we would be sitting here, that we would earn our diplomas, that we walk across the stage with an open heart and keen minds. Open hearts and keen minds. If there are any 2 components necessary for success, I doubt you'll find a better pair. Those are what you were meant to unlock within yourself. You already had those coming in, you just didn't know it yet. That's what high school is meant to bring out within you. That's what high school is meant to change, meant to make sure that you understand that that's what you're given. Ooh, this is a little bit shaky. But what you need to understand is that with this speech, and not just with this speech, but just with this ceremony, your vision of the future is going to be different. This class and our destinations and our journeys are not going to be the same. They're going to be as different and complex as we are as individuals and how this class is as a whole. What I do want you to remember as you walk out of here, as you go onto your own path and you set your own standard, you remember that together we are strong. Independently, we are together and that we are something. But together, as a class, we have unity. We are one. We are North Atlanta. And we are ready to graduate. So class of 2015, I want you to remember that we are going to leave this plateau for new horizons. But I also want you to remember this. You are armed with the strength necessary to overcome any obstacles, glass ceilings, or walls designed to keep you out. You are strong. You are ready for this. But I do want you to remember this class of 2015. It has been an honor to stand amongst you. And it is a greater honor to walk with you as we head into the unknown. Thank you so much. Class of 2015. And I'll see you over there.
Good morning. As many of you know, I am Elizabeth Bray, and it was my great pleasure to be president of this year's wonderful senior class. They've only allotted me a few minutes tonight, so my thoughts on the meaning of life, the value of education, will clearly have to wait. However, I thought it might be fitting to give you a snapshot of the North Atlanta class of 2015 by the numbers. First of all, we'll start with our numbers. On Saturday, the number of principals we've had in our 4 years. 3 in 1 year. But as one who has lived through all 4, I can honestly say that every single one of them has enriched us and our school in a meaningful way. Personally, I'm grateful that Atlanta Public Schools saved the best for last. Please join me in a round of applause for our beloved Mr. Curtis Douglas, who has done so much for us. Along the way, we've faced our share of stereotypes. One stereotype, usually only held by people living inside of Buckhead, is that North Atlanta isn't good enough. But the numbers just don't support that. 2 of our classmates are headed to the Ivies, specifically Princeton and Yale, and others are waiting to hear from Harvard, Georgetown, and the London School of Economics. 20 of our students are headed to top 30 universities, including UNC Chapel Hill, the University of Southern California, UCLA, Howard, and the Naval Academy, among others, while 15 are headed to the University of Georgia, and an additional 11 to Georgia Tech, and to many more renowned colleges and universities across the United States. I hope you won't think I'm bragging too much when I say that many of our private school cohorts can't boast these numbers. But they have the saying in Texas, if you've done it, it ain't bragging. For all of us, high school has brought trials, temptations, and triumph. But then I hear, so does all of life. When I come back to North Atlanta reunions, I fully expect to be with some of our generation's finest minds and biggest achievers. No matter what higher educational institutions or careers brought them there. I think North Atlanta has taught us that a setback is only a setup for a comeback. And that is a life lesson that no money can buy. Not that learning for our school. In the words of one of North Atlanta's 2 honorary warriors, President Ronald Reagan, we've had a rendezvous with destiny. That's what we've had during our time at North High School. And I, for one, am so glad to have had it with each of you. Thank you.
We are glad
board experience is during my good days and bad days at North Carolina High School, the people who have challenged me the most are my wonderful, loving parents. Ever since pre-K, my mother always came with me to the first day of school to meet my teachers. Even in 11th grade, she came to my first period and took multiple camera shots with Ms. Bracken, my language arts teacher, and my best friend, Travion Franklin. At that moment, I was so embarrassed. Here I am, a junior in high school, and my mother wants to play photographer. But as I sit back and think about that very moment, all I can do is laugh and smile. Thanks a lot, Mom. However, there were times I didn't laugh. My father always gave me a hard time when it came to my education. When I was younger, I felt sad because my father very seldom congratulated me on the good things I did, but consistently distanced me on the bad things I did. My father would scold me, and he wouldn't stop until he felt that he really got his point across. He was hard on me because he wanted me to do better for myself than he did for himself. My father never completed high school, but he earned his GED later on in life. That's why my dad felt it was so imperative for me to graduate from high school, because it would be a major accomplishment for the men in our family. On the other hand, my mother was more gentle and understanding of my flaws. She always was a better listener and a better peacemaker. She always gave me praise when I did something good. She always said, "Give your mama some sugar." While my dad, on the other hand, would say, "Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. You gotta get up and work for what you want." To be honest, my parents were just what I needed to get through the tough bumps in the road. Just as many of my classmates had parents who were just what they needed. They challenged us to be better, to strive for nothing but the best. Thanks, Dad, for teaching me respect, street smarts, and most of all, how to be a man. Thanks, Mom, for just being the wonderful mother that you are. I love you guys. Last but not least, I want to give thanks to all the parents, teachers, and family for being great role models and leaders for myself and my peers. Without you, the class of 2015 wouldn't be here. You're the ones that pushed and motivated us to be future leaders. Thank you for holding us up when we wanted to fall. Thank you for allowing us to stand on your shoulders so that we could rise to this momentous occasion. Thank you. We love you all.
Good morning. We had, every parent's worst nightmare, we had a tragic passing this right after spring break. Our student, Reginald Wilder, passed away to sleep while at home. And it saddens us tremendously, and any parent Losing a child knows how sad that is. In Reggie's family, I believe they're here. I know Mom was here earlier. She may have been back upstairs, but is Reggie's brother here or the family? That we love you, support you, and Reggie's here with us. Thank you very much. I'm just going to close. Do you mind if I close it out from down here? Thank you. It's very hard to close out. I'm being to learn as my first year principal. It's very hard to close out after hearing such wonderful speakers and students coming up. There's nothing I can do to top it. But I would like to say to the class of 2015, thank you from the bottom of my heart. There's an old African proverb that says a boy becomes a man when a man is needed. And we can say the same thing about women. A girl becomes a woman when a woman is needed. And you guys have done so much in the last 4 years because a man was needed, a woman was needed to go through what you guys have gone through. We talked about the number of principals you've been through, moving to a new building. There's so much that students go through in their 4 years of high school. And on top of that, all the world has to do is Google and see some of your experiences as well. So I just want to thank you guys for all that you've done for yourself, but also for us as a school. Everything we've asked you to do, you've done. You've handled with such a grace and confidence and ability to succeed. And there's nothing we can say or do that can show how much I care as a principal and how much you've got through, what you've done to succeed. And I think I'm speaking on behalf of the parents and the faculty and staff as well. Please know that we do love you, and I say that from the bottom of my heart. I'm not going to speak long as a certain man laws that I don't want to violate by breaking down here today. But I do sincerely say that I can look at everybody's face out here and know that almost 2.5 years I've been here, that how much you've done for yourself and for us as a school. And so the best is yet to come. I'm going to charge you with one thing that I would like you to do, because I don't know if I'm going to address you guys again before, because once you get into our practice, you guys all over the place. It's hard to get you in one spot. But we talked about visions for the future. What I want you guys to do when you go to your respective colleges and you end up there, I want you to find, when you decide exactly what it is you want to do, once you get that major, I want you to find the Alumni Association or any organization affiliated with that college, and whether it be a medical society or anything dealing with alumni, I want you to show up to that meeting, and I want you to sit down, and I want you to attend that meeting. Can you promise me that, please? No matter where you go, please try it once. Sit down. If they look at you funny, I want you to say, I apologize for being 4 years early to this meeting, but I'm sitting down here because I'm going to be in the same seat 4 years from now, 3 years from now, whatever that may be. That's only one time. I like to, continue to do that if they allow you to, but I want you to do that for specific reasons. One is because it's like getting in a time machine where you're showing them exactly where you want to be, and you're going to learn some valuable lessons by hanging out with those individuals, and it's going to get you to where you want to be a lot faster. Okay? So it's just some real practical advice from me before you leave. I want you to sit down at that meeting, find an alumni, and say, I'm here now, 4 years early, 5 years early, whatever that may be, because I'm going to be. And ask them how you can help them. Because I guarantee you it's going to open doors for you once you graduate from that college. Understood? Do you promise me you'll do that? Because you guys have kept every promise that I've asked so far. When I got here, remember that first, it's in the yearbook, remember that first meeting we had, and I said, do you trust me? And I said, I'll trust you. So I think we have that mutual trust. I love you guys. And I'm so proud of you. I look forward to seeing you next week. Remember